Hello, welcome to my channel WWE Pulse.
The commentary heel is a term used to describe a type of commentator who consistently sides with the bad guys, the villains, and bullies, even when they are clearly in the wrong. This type of commentator will make excuses for the bad guys' behavior, often justifying it or even praising it, while simultaneously criticizing the good guys for their actions. There are some commentators who try to be neutral, but they can still unintentionally display some of these traits. But what we're really talking about today are those commentators who lean so far into being a heel that it becomes their gimmick. These commentators usually have some sort of eccentric personality. They're very opinionated and loud and over the top, and they love to bait people into a reaction. And because of this, they're not always taken seriously. So they've created this persona that allows them to say outrageous things without sounding like they're retaking themselves too seriously. Some might even call it comedic. It can be incredibly frustrating to watch one of these commentators analyze a story because they completely disregard any sense of logic or reason. It is clear that they've already decided who they're siding with, and no amount of evidence presented in the story itself will change their mind. It can feel like you're banging your head against a wall sometimes, and it can be hard not to get sucked into the comment section and get into an argument with these people, because you think that if you just present them with enough facts and evidence, then surely you can change their mind. But unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen. So why do people like this even exist? Why would someone want to build their entire brand around being a heel? Well, there's a few reasons. The first is that they genuinely support the villainous characters and believe that they are the ones who are right and justified in their actions. Now, this isn't always easy to tell. Sometimes it can be obvious when a commentator is blatantly supporting the villain and ignoring all of the evidence that points to the fact that they are in the wrong. Other times it is not as clear-cut, and the commentator might actually believe that they being fair. So it is important to look at the bigger picture and see how this person reacts to other stories. If they consistently side with the antagonists, then it's a clear indication that they're a heel. Another reason why these commentators exist is because they thrive off of the negative emotions that they're able to elicit from others. There's nothing more satisfying than watching someone get angry, especially if you know that you're the one who's causing it. For these types of commentators, the more angry reactions they receive, the more validated they feel. They feed off of the outrage and use it to promote their content. It doesn't matter to them whether or not they're being rational or reasonable. What matters is that they're getting a rise out of people. Now, some commentators do this because they honestly believe that they're helping to promote discussion and debate. They think that by being provocative and controversial, they re-encouraging people to engage with their content and think critically about the stories that they reanalyzing. However, there's a fine line between being thought-provoking and just being plain annoying. And most of these commentators crossed that line long ago. I think another big part of it is that these commentators enjoy feeling special and important. They like to think of themselves as being smarter and more insightful than everyone else. And that gives them a sense of superiority. By siding with the underdog, the villain, or the bully, they feel like they're being original and going against the grain. They don't want to be like all of those other sheep out there who blindly support the hero. They like to think of themselves as being different and unique, and that makes them feel special. Sometimes this can also be a way for people to cope with their own personal issues. By supporting the villain, they're able to distance themselves from the hero and all of the qualities that they admire about them. They do want to be like the hero, because that would mean acknowledging their own flaws and weaknesses. Instead, they identify with the villain and all of their evil schemes, because it is easier for them to relate to someone who is selfish and power-hungry than someone who is selfless and compassionate. So what should you do if you come across one of these annoying commentators? The best thing that you can do is to simply ignore them. Don't feed the trolls. Don't engage with them or give them the satisfaction of knowing that they're getting to you. It's hard, I know, but it's the best way to deal with them. Another thing you could do is to try to understand where they're coming from. Try to see the world through their eyes and understand the reasons why they might support the villain. It's not always easy to do, but it can be helpful in understanding why these people are the way that they are. Maybe they've had a rough childhood, or maybe they're struggling with some personal issues. Whatever the reason, it is important to remember that they're still human beings, and they deserve to be treated with respect. Of course, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with them or put up with their nonsense. It just means that you should try to understand where they're coming from before you judge them. You may even find that you learn something from them, even if you don't agree with their conclusions. After all, everyone has their own unique perspective on the world, and it is important to be open to hearing different opinions, even if they're not always pleasant to hear. So next time you come across one of these annoying commentators, take a deep breath and try to be understanding. They may not change your mind, but you never know. You might learn something from them. Just make sure you don't feed the trolls. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Okay guys, thank you for watching my videos.